There is something sacred about the journey of a man who chooses to master himself, especially in the domain of his sexual energy. It is not merely a personal decision. It is a spiritual alignment. The decision to harness your sexual energy is not just self-discipline. It is divine alignment. It is the Creator's stamp of approval on your becoming. This is what we call the divine endorsement of your becoming. Sexual energy is the primal fire within you. It is the raw essence of life, the original blueprint encoded in your body by the divine to create, to build, and to transform. When you begin to conserve, direct, and elevate this energy rather than waste it, you align with a higher order. You begin walking not just as a man, but as a vessel carrying purpose. And when purpose is honored, the heavens respond. You are not walking alone anymore. You're walking with divine endorsement. Sexual energy is sacred. It is not dirty, shameful, or something to be suppressed. It is a divine gift, the very energy that created you. The same power that forms galaxies, builds nations, and births generations lies within your loins. But what separates the ordinary man from a becoming man is how he handles this gift. The average man squanders it for temporary pleasure. The becoming man treasures it for eternal legacy. When you understand that your sexual energy is not just a biological impulse, but a divine instrument, your entire relationship with it changes. You no longer look at it as a burden to tame, but a fire to master. And mastery is the beginning of your divine endorsement. God does not endorse chaos. God does not endorse addiction. God does not endorse a man ruled by his urges. Divine favor rests on order, on purpose, on intentional living. To walk in divine endorsement is to walk in order. Sexual energy out of control brings confusion, weakness, and spiritual blindness. But when it is ordered and directed, it becomes the fuel for your mission. You are not endorsed because you are perfect. You are endorsed because you are aligned. The more you align with purpose, spirit, soul, and body, the more divine favor magnetizes toward your life. When you conserve your sexual energy and transmute it into building your body, sharpening your mind, serving your community, creating wealth, and advancing your vision, you create a signal to the divine, I am ready, and heaven answers, so be it. Many men wonder why their prayers go unanswered, why their vision lacks clarity, and why doors remain shut. Often, it's because they are asking for divine favor while living in disordered indulgence. God does not bless waste. He watches how you handle what he has already given you, especially your sexual energy. If you can't control your seed, how will you control your destiny? If you waste the life force inside of you in moments of lust, how can you be trusted with the responsibility of legacy, fatherhood, and purpose? The silence of God is not rejection. It is a test. The test is stewardship. The reward is divine endorsement. Once you begin to steward your energy well, the silence breaks, the fog lifts, the vision returns, because the one who is faithful with little, including his own body, will be entrusted with more. When a man begins to discipline his sexuality, he becomes dangerous, not dangerous to the world, but dangerous to everything that profits from his ignorance. Society thrives when men are distracted, weakened by lust, and disconnected from their source of power. But when you awaken, when you rise and say no more, you become a threat. And that's when divine backing shows up. God is not passive about your evolution. Your becoming is a battlefront. When you choose to fight for your wholeness, for your purity, for your energy, you don't fight alone. Angels walk with men who fight for purpose. Divine protection surrounds a man who guards his seed, not because of legalism or religion, but because he has aligned himself with heaven's agenda. You're not just preserving energy. You're building an altar of discipline, and altars attract fire. Every time you say no to lust, you say yes to vision. Every time you retain your seed, you increase your creativity, because sexual energy is creative energy. It's a force that forms life. It also forms ideas, books, songs, businesses, ministries, and movements. Your productivity is directly tied to how you channel your energy. When you allow that energy to rise instead of fall, you unlock parts of your brain that were dormant. You think clearer. You move with greater conviction. You become magnetic. Why? Because you are glowing with the light of divine order. This is not superstition. This is science and spirit. The divine endorsement shows up as clarity, boldness, creativity, confidence, and results. The man who guards his seed guards his genius. Nobody is endorsed without resistance. The pressure you feel, the urges, the loneliness, the moments of temptation, they are the proving grounds of your becoming. They are your divine gem. Every time you resist, you strengthen. Every time you conquer, you rise. Resistance is not a curse. It is your endorsement training ground. The enemy knows the power you carry. That is why the battle is so intense. The attacks on your sexual purity are not random. They are strategic. Because if your seed is kept, your focus is sharp. If your focus is sharp, your vision becomes unstoppable. And when your vision becomes unstoppable, you disrupt darkness. Divine endorsement does not fall on the faint-hearted. It falls on the tested. It falls on a man who chose discipline in a world that worships indulgence. It falls on a man who chose vision over validation. It falls on a man who said yes to God's way, even when the world offered easier options. And that man is becoming unstoppable. When you conserve your sexual energy, you're not just abstaining from pleasure. You are rebuilding your internal temple. You are restoring your masculine frame. You are repairing your emotional circuits. You are rewiring your mind for legacy. Every day of retention is an act of construction, and every act of construction brings more divine favor. You will begin to notice your walk change. Your voice deepens. Your eyes hold more intensity. Your presence becomes heavier. Why? Because divine energy is filling the space where chaos used to live. You are becoming a house of glory, a walking temple, a son of divine fire. And that glory attracts everything assigned to your becoming. Favor, resources, relationships, and opportunities. You are building the throne for your purpose to sit on. Once you prove that you can carry your energy with honor, you are trusted with higher assignments. Many men ask for more wealth, more influence, more impact, but they don't understand that heaven assigns based on readiness, not emotional desire. Readiness. If you can't govern your body, how can you govern a business? If you can't say no to a screen, how can you say yes to a calling? Your divine assignment waits on the other side of your mastery. When you walk to the fire of discipline, when you choose truth over temporary pleasure, when you begin to walk in inner order, your assignment finds you, because now you are trustworthy. And heaven always entrusts power to the trustworthy. We are living in a time when the masculine spirit has been weakened, shamed, and suppressed. But there's a new breed of men rising. Men who are reclaiming their energy, guarding their seed, honoring their bodies, and reconnected with divine truth. These men are not afraid of purity. They are not ashamed of discipline. They are not ruled by urges. They are becoming kings. You are part of this rise. You are not here by accident. The fire in your belly, the desire to live differently, the call to master your urges, that is not coincidence. That is a divine invitation. An invitation to become what you were born to be. And when you answer that call, you walk not only with discipline, but with divine power. The masculine man of God is making a comeback, and he's coming back with fire in his eyes and legacy in his hands. You are not becoming by chance. You are becoming by divine design. Your sexual energy is not a distraction. It is your superpower. But it must be stewarded, not squandered. Guarded, not given to lust. Directed, not drained. When you begin to walk in mastery, you walk in divine endorsement. God is backing your becoming. You may stumble, you may fall, but you rise again not just because of willpower, but because of divine fire inside of you. Every act of discipline is not just a personal win. It's a spiritual declaration. I am ready for more. And the divine answers, I approve. Your sexual energy is sacred. Treat it like gold. Conserve it. Channel it. Build with it. And you will not only transform your life, you'll become a beacon of divine order in a disordered world. Your becoming is endorsed by heaven. Walk like it. Live like it. Become what you were born to be. Let your energy testify of your royalty, and let your legacy echo your divine endorsement.